Please stand by for this week's edition of VK4BAD BadNet, the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's Wednesday night net, starting up very soon. If you like the contents, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment if you like. This is VK4GRB. Until 19:30 hours. We'll catch you shortly. Good evening, everybody. This is Victor Kilo 4, Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Fairyland. It's just gone 19:30 hours. 7:30 p.m. It is Wednesday night, so it's another VK4BAD BadNet on this frequency of 146.675. You require a 91.5 access tone, and it's negative offset. This is VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo. I'll now change my call sign to the club call of the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club of VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. This is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's BadNet. Now listening for any call-ins. Go ahead, please.
VK4 Mike Victor. VK4IJP. VK4HOO. Good evening, gents.
VK4 Echo Mike. Very good evening to you all.
Okay, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta returning. We just had good evening to all. We've got VK4 Mike Victor L in Dolby, VK4IJP Ian in Proston, VK4HOO Andy. VK4HOO Andy in Toowoomba, and VK4 Echo Mike Merv in just out of Pittsworth. This is VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Listening for any more call-ins. VK4BAD. Okay, nothing else heard. Nothing else heard at the moment. It is currently 12.2 degrees outside, 75% humidity, 0 wind speed. We've had a couple of little studs go through there today, but other than that, it's been a reasonable sort of a day. Okay, we'll now run through the list. We've also got a listener there of VK4KRS, Kirk, in Toowoomba. He's just listening only. VK4 Mike Victor is L. VK4IJP Ian. VK4HOO Andy. And VK4 Echo Mike Merv. Anyone else before we start the first round? VK4 BAD. Okay, nothing else heard. VK4 Mike Victor. Good evening there, L. VK4 BAD. Go ahead.
VK4BAD and the group VK4MV. Good evening all.
Thanks for running the show, Gary. And it's turning a little cool. It's about 8 or 9 degrees here at the moment. A little bit fresher after the rain. The rain gauge said 50 mils had fallen during Monday. There was about 7 in there on Monday morning, so it was a bit overnight there, so 57 in total, and dry since. And nice and clear today. And of course, Sunday being overcast put a kibosh on a little adventure, going out to do a little bit of astrophotography after a session in the Russell Tavern to do the theory part of it. We drove out to Lake Broadwater for a bit of practical in the field, and of course the clouds came over and we saw nothing, so we couldn't do any star shots, but somewhere out behind it was the Milky Way, which is what we were aiming for. So we'll have to wait till another occasion. I had a look last night and it started to be available, so I might try again later this evening and see how clear it is, and see if I can get some results from all the extra learning. And repairs of radios proceeding along. I think I might have narrowed down to a couple of capacitors in the PA of that 736, so that'll be an adventure tomorrow. And Merv, your 570 Kenwood has arrived, and I had a quick look this afternoon, and yes, there's a few strange receive things going on, a couple of other little things I've looked and spotted. So it's in the throes of being attended to, and that'll happen after they fix the PA in the 736. And that's about it. Well, Ed and I had a bit of a chat this afternoon. We found we've got some common interest. We've got more things to talk about over a cup of coffee. So anyway, around to you, Ian, VK4IJP in the group, VK4 Mike Victor.
And someone else there just sort of butting in, beeping away. Someone beeping away. The sponsor, I suppose. Yeah, good evening all. Al, Andy and Merv. And of course Gary is keeping us all in a straight line. And in order, I suppose. Yeah, it was a great little chat there today, Alistair. Yeah, about the photography and that. And especially when I go out back and that, yeah, I'd love to be able to do some better night shots of like around the camp, and also some astro. I'd like to also do time delayed ones, so you get something really to sort of watch in really video format, I suppose. But other than that, I've just been changing the battery of the caravan. The AGM battery has died. So a lithium one turned up yesterday, so been installed today. So and all operational. Rewired a couple of things, changed a couple of things, so it's now all set for lithium rather than AGM. And tomorrow I will give it a load test. We'll see how it goes at running the coffee machine and microwave together or something like that. Anyway, it'll be most interesting. But other than that, the other thing I only noticed it this afternoon is the 2 metre aerial I've made and put up on the shed down the back. It's came off its mast. I'm sort of not surprised. I only wrapped a little bit of insulation tape around just to hold it up, because it's only what, half a metre long, is it? If even that. But yeah, I just didn't get quite enough time before I left to go on our little trip, which was from here from Boston, basically Wollumbar, Alstonville, near Ballina, Lismore. Then we went out west to Texas and Gundy and visited some ball baths there at Pilbara and Barham Junction and at Good, which I can never pronounce its name, up past Lightning Ridge. Then mosey on home. So just a, I think 10 or so days, just a quick trip. Anyway, I'll chuck it over to Andy, VK4 HOO and the BAD group. This is VK4IJP.
And very good evening. Merv, I did ask last night, I hope Denise is on the mend. If you could, when you're over, let me know. That would be great. I'm feeling heaps better than what I have for quite a few months, so I think we're all good now. And with doctor's help, which is great. Yeah, photography. Heather and I just did a train trip up to Cairns, and we went on the old Golf Lander and the Savannah train, and we were at Corumba, and it was sunset. And they've got these statuette of a couple of pelicans that it's sort of significant for the town. And I got the sunset through just with my iPhone, and I thought there's no way this is going to turn out. Anyway, sort of took a couple, and I've had a look, and I was going, holy dooly, it must have some pretty good filters in it, because it really, took it from white, what I was seeing, to the proper sunset orange. And I took a couple more. There was a tree, and they're so good. We're going to make one of those canvas photos and put up in the house. So yeah, pretty chuffed with that. I've been one of our funeral homes. We're putting some more racking up for the coffins. So I was doing that today just to break the monotony. Move over to your brother, VK4. Okay, Mike, VK4 HOO.
Yeah, okay, Andy, thank you very much indeed, and a very good evening to you all. VK4 HOO with the group, VK4 Echo Mike. Gary, thank you for running a tremendous net again tonight. And Andy, yes, Denise, thank you very much for asking. Denise is improving every day. We had a meeting with the hospital doctor just the other day. They called us in, so we went in there, and I walked in there, and they've got signs up, expect to wait 3 hours before your appointment or your call. But we waited a bit over an hour, and so it wasn't so bad. Anyway, it was to tell us that the stuff that they removed from Denise's appendix burst, Phyllis, and we had some, rough times there for a few days. Anyway, and they sent all the stuff away to the lab, and it all came back, and it was all clear. So that that was the main thing. In a few more weeks, another 5 weeks, I think Denise has to go and have the camera bit to make sure everything else is okay. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for that one as well. The doctor told us we were very lucky, because elderly people at our age, when they have appendix burst, it's usually because of a cancer problem, and luckily there was none of that there. So okay, Al, thank you very much indeed. Kerry tells me there was other stuff in that box, so he was going to return that to me, and then I got on to Don and Andy, and they took it out and delivered it to you, so that was a bit of a help. I think Bob might have been involved in that that trip. Yeah, I like hearing the guys, the three guys, when they get together and they're going out to the Dolby meeting and they're on the radio, you know, playing up and all that sort of stuff, probably waving at all the people going past and things like that. It's good on them. It's all in a bit of fun. And yeah, I was just watching that accident on TV where the truck hit the bus and all those children got injured. And yeah, the bus driver has been charged already. So we'll wait and see what comes out of that. But yeah, what a terrible, terrible situation. All right, you fellas and your photography, oh, that's great. When you get around to doing some of those photos, I wouldn't mind having a look at them. I send a few photos from the guys who are doing projects and antennas and, you know, radio stuff and all that around a group here in the local area. Some are a bit further away. I've got one in America to go to as well. So I'd like to have a look at those and with your permission send them around so you can... Oh, I know who would be very interested in what you're doing is Adam, VK2, November Whiskey. He's right into that sort of stuff. All right, back to you, Gary. VK4BAD with the group, VK4 Echo Mike, and good evening, Kurt.
VK4 Echo Mike, VK4 Golf Bravo Alpha Delta. Okay, before I continue on, is there anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's Wednesday night net? VK4BAD?
Yeah, good evening. This is VK4 Tango Papa.
Okay, we've got VK4 Tango Papa. Does anyone else want to call in? VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta? Okay, nothing else heard except a word from our sponsor. No worries. Okay, VK4 Tango Papa. Have a go there, Kerry, and throw it back to me there. VK4BAD.
VK4BAD and the group. VK4 Tango Papa. Thanks, Gary. Very good evening to yourself and to all on the net this evening. Great roll up there by the sound of it. Well, the main news item from Clifton this week is the rainfall. We had a beautiful amount of rain here on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Oh, what is it? Well, that's today was Wednesday, it was Monday night, Tuesday morning. Got to get the day sorted. Yeah, we had over 60 odd mils here, so we're very thankful for that. We were in dire need of it. So dry here, it was just unbelievably dry. So we're very thankful. I'm sure a lot of the farmers will be very thankful as well because they'll be able to have a bit of moisture in the ground now and be able to get a winter crop in. So there'll be smiles all around, I think, for most people. And the sunsets that we made mention of, yeah, the last couple of nights have been very colourful, picturesque. So I didn't see tonight's, but yeah, last night's was very nice. And I was told tonight's was good too. So a thick fog here this morning to start off with until about 9:30 or something before it lifted. Nice beautiful day afterwards, so can't complain. Okay, Gary, that's it for the first round. Back to you. VK4BAD with the group, VK4TP.
VK4 Tango Papa, VK4 Golf Bravo Alpha Delta. No worries there, Kerry. Does anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains net before we start the second round? VK4BAD? Okay, nothing else heard. Yeah, well, okay, they're Al with the, actually all yous with virtually with the cameras. Hi, hi. I'm, as I said on last night's net, I'm looking at a couple of brands of cameras at the moment for doing in here, and I tell you one thing: the price of lenses. Yeah, definitely got to watch your pennies there, don't you? But yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm looking at a couple of cameras in the Canon range and a couple of Canons in the Lumix or Lumix, Panasonic, and the Sanyo cameras. I'm just got a short list of what I'm looking at the moment. They're all pretty well much to muchness what I'm looking at. Canon's got a good range of lenses, and Sony's is a little bit on the XE side, so on the lenses. But anyway, that's another thing on my side here. I'm getting offhand. Other than that, we had a good turn up, as the majority on here would know, at our meeting, and all went good. We had a bit of a talking in there, changed the format of the meeting a little bit, but it was okay. Other than that, is there anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's Wednesday night net? VK4BAD listening? Okay, nothing heard on that one. Okay, we'll do the last round. Good to hear you in there, Kerry. And I see we've got since we've only had a couple of days of cloudy times. It looks like the repeaters having a bit of a. I noticed that noise has popped up on the band again. So I'd say the batteries up there are with the other radios and that which are up on that site. I think they're anyway. As I said, it's all seems to be going okay at the moment. It's only that noise has popped up. Anyone else want to join the net before we take the next round? VK4BAD. Okay, VK4 Echo Mike Victor, VK4BAD. Over to you there, Al.
VK4BAD, the group VK4MV. Yep, fine. That's a nice little group. And, yeah, quite right. The meeting was quite excellent, very, very enjoyable, and everybody quite happy and cheery, and a bit of banter was going on, and a nice talk with with Bob because I think he's a very entertaining fellow. What a jolly person. So I can imagine how that group would have gone in the car together. So it was good. And it was a nicer day. It was just quite pleasant. And better still, there was no bonfire under the barbecue, which was on a previous attempt. Anyway, the little device you were talking about there, Ian, is an intervalometer. Wrap your tongue around that one. And he was demonstrating that the guy doing the lecturing was doing he had quite a few of them. We sampled them by getting them and connecting to our cameras and seeing how they worked. And they can be a remote release, a pre-timed release, a delayed release, and a sequence as well, so that you can take a photo and have a certain amount of break time. I think you can program them for an exposure time, but there's quite a lot of variation. But if you want to do time-lapse photography, that would be the thing to do it with. And you can sort of do the clouds going by and people moving on the street, or a flower blossoming or something like that, if you so feel like being artistic. So that's the way to go. And they're only cheap. They're $26 on Amazon. How about that? It's great to see you taking photos and being happy with the results, Andy. Many a good photo is taken on a camera these days, on an iPhone and an Android phone. We mentioned that at a Camera Club meeting in Brisbane one night that statistics were saying that there's more photos now being taken on the camera in the phones than there was with all the manner of various cameras that ran up to that point where they were just so good that you could substitute for quite a reasonable priced camera would be outdone. I had a bit of experience with that with a neat little point and shoot camera that I had. It was Canon, and I was taking photos of work we were doing at the Country Fire Authority in Victoria at the radio installations, and another guy was using his iPhone, and his photos were just blowing my ones away. So it was a great example. So keep up on that, and it's amazing what you can produce. And if you put one up on canvas and up on your wall, you will be tickled pink. It's really worth the effort. And yeah, no worries, Murph. It's some strange things happening with that radio. The backup battery was flat. I see there's a capacitor in the Witto tuner has gone Chernobyl, not affecting the receive. There's something else as well, but it's got a great preamp in it if it can take an S9 signal to plus 60. So I think that's cheating along the way somewhere. So there's certainly something strange going on in the circuitry. So a preliminary look has sort of gave me something to carry on with. And all that good. Yeah, 60 mil of rain in Clifton, that was good. Yeah, 50 around here, so everybody's loving it. It is a bit of casual water sitting around, and I won't be mowing the lawn for a few days, but it certainly will probably keep the green there longer than normal. So righto then, over back to Ian of VK4OJP, the group VK4MV.
Yeah, thanks, Al. It is interesting. Years ago, we went over to the UK and France, and I was going to take my camera, my SLR, and I decided not to because of the size of it, and I knew we were going to do a lot of walking. And at that stage, I just used, my wife and I used our iPhone 2s. And on the way back, I was sitting beside some woman, and she was a professional photographer, and I showed her some of the photos on the phone. I don't know is it really a phone? I don't know. Once I was calling them a computer, but now the camera side of them and video side of them is incredible. They're a multi-tool. I don't know. All they need is a little knife that comes out, and so we can strip a bit of wire or maybe cut a lamington up at a bakery. But I reckon that's the only thing our electronic devices lack is a knife to be a true multi-tool. And she was just blown away at the quality of the photos and the way how it zoomed in and was still even keeping quality because it's a digital zoom, the quality of the image. So, no, and I imagine the newer ones, yeah, they're just getting better and better and better. I mean, probably won't really need to carry big DSLRs anymore or big video cameras and that, but yeah, I mean it's just truly amazing. I have a GoPro that I use as a camera on the windscreen of a car as a dash cam, and it's just unreal. And even them are just getting better and better in what they do and how they do it. But it just amazes me that it takes all the shakes out. You'll be driving along a dirt road with corrugation, and it just shows the cars floating up and down, and it just looks like a nice, gentle ride. Yeah, okay, so that's all about it. Gary, I was just wondering how things were going at your place anyway. It's been 2 or 3 weeks, so if you're making progress or if you've been diverted with other maintenance and jobs are into place. Anyway, I'll put it over to Andy, VK4HOO. This is VK4IJP.
And thank you. I've sent a couple of photos to you, Merv. I hope I haven't doubled up or anything. I've made them smaller than what they are in the phone, so you might be able to sort of get the gist of the trip. Yeah, it was basically called the Awesome Foursome. So we caught the Spirit of Queensland up to Cairns. Yeah, wasn't real happy with that. I had expectations, really high expectations of maybe luxury and that, but it wasn't. You know, we had the bed sit. In an aircraft, they're fine because aircraft sort of don't jump around the place, but within a train, you know, you can hardly sleep. And the track that the train's on is it doesn't serve the train properly because it can cruise along at 160 kilometres an hour. There's only one stage on the way back coming out of Rockhampton that it did 150 because I had my GPS on the phone and where we were. Yeah, it was just you know, you sort of have something in your mind, and yeah, it wasn't where you wanted to be. 25-hour trip each way. Then from there, the company we went with, they had a coach. There was only 28 of us, so it was a nice group. And yeah, we did Corumba and the Gulf Lander, Georgetown. We did the Savannah. Then back up to Clander and did the one back down into Cairns. So yeah, it was 10 nights. We were on the go, up early, and different motels every night. So yeah, I was sending a couple of those through, Merv. If you want to sort of send them around, that's great, and I'd like that. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for running it, and yeah, we'll catch everyone a little bit later. VK4 Echo Mike, VK4HOO.
just put it back to you for a minute, Andy, and would like to answer my question. My question being, right up the top, when you get to the furthest point, isn't there an old restored rail motor, like with the carriage? I think it's got one carriage and then the sort of the engine part of it. And I've seen a doco about it on TV a long time ago, and I think the motor in the rail motor was the same motor that's in one of the cars. And anyway, I just wonder whether, that was, I think that's the last stop. Up the top, you get off the train and you get on the rail motor and it takes you a certain distance and brings you back there so you can get back on the train or something. And we're missing Don tonight. Just back to you, Andy, over.
Yeah, I haven't sent that one through yet. I'll do that. Thanks for reminding me. That's the Golflander, and it's an amazing machine. We first saw it on TV on one of the Outback things, and it's got the diesel motor and truck motor, and I think it's actually two halves. And then the driver is just like driving a truck. He's got, I think it's a 5-speed gearbox. He's got the clutch, and he just drives it as if it's a truck, except he hasn't got a steering wheel. He's just got a brake, so to speak. It's incredible. So yeah, that's the Golflander. I think that's the one that you would be thinking of. We went on that one as well, and yeah, we had the terrestrial centre that was in the mines and opals, and it was just an absolute awesome trip. And I've taken a photo of that, so I'll send it through on the next little bit of email there if you're happy with that. Yeah, not much else I could sort of say. It was on the go. It was lovely to have nice warm weather. Absolutely loved it. We came back to this and you go, oh God, I don't want to come back. But that's what holidays are about, aren't they? You get away and your mind just sort of clears, and you come back and you bang straight back to reality. So hopefully I've answered that question, Merv. I'll send through this last one, which has the tour and that on it, and a picture of the Golflander. VK4 Echo Mike, VK4HOO.
Okay, Andy, thanks for that. Back in the very early days of Toowoomba, the rail motor used to run from Toowoomba to Brisbane, and our family relations were mainly in Redcliffe in those early days, and most of them are still there. And we used to jump on the rail motor and go down from Toowoomba to Brisbane, and then our family members from Redcliffe would come and pick us up, and we'd spend the weekend over with them and looking at the lovely ocean and all that sort of stuff, and then back on the rail motor back to Toowoomba. I remember up in the corner of the rail motor, inside, they had these glass bottles with fresh water in it. It was supposed to be fresh water, and by the time, the old rail motor was fairly rough in those days. By the time we got to Brisbane, most of the water was on the floor and not in the bottle. Anyway, thanks, Andy. Okay. I'll keep it short since I've had a long over. Al, okay. I bought that transceiver quite a few years ago, and it was from a dealer. We'll leave it at that. And it was faulty when it got here. And over the years, I did send it away and got it looked at, because there's apparently modification for that battery to keep that battery charged. And the modification was never done to that, or it was missing, or something or other. Anyway, I sent the transceiver away to get that looked at to see if that unlocking thing on the HF bands could be fixed. Like you'd put it on a HF frequency and it'd be on the screen and it wouldn't stay there, it'd drop out, and everything would drop out as well. And the modification was supposed to be done for the battery, but it never was, because the battery, while I had it, I just replaced it every year, and I just used it as a 6-metre rig. So, okay. On to you, Kerry. Very good evening. Good to hear you on there tonight, and Gail there in the background. Tremendous. And yeah, no doubt about Clifton. It gets all the rain, all the sunshine, all the lotto winnings. The only thing they haven't got a bank anymore. VK4TP with the group. VK4 Echo Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mo. VK4TP returning to the group. And, well, some of the above's true, Mo, but not all of it. Yeah, we lost the bank, and, yeah, we did get a nice drop of rain this last time, but that's not always the case, unfortunately. But, yeah, no, we're very thankful for the rain we got this time. Very, very thankful. And, yeah, good evening to Al, for Mike Victor, and Ian, was it? For IJP. I don't think I've had the pleasure of meeting you two guys before. So great to make the acquaintance. And good to hear you in there this evening too, Andy. You're sounding pretty much like your normal self, and you sound like you had a great trip up north there. Very good indeed. Yeah, well, talking about train travel, I used to ride to work on the train in Brisbane from Darra to Toowong. I used to live on board with my auntie at Inala, catch the bus into the train station at Darra, get on the train, go to Toowong, get off there and go to work for all day, and then get in the afternoon, do the same return journey, and that was all for the princely sum of £8, 7 and 6 a week. So yeah, which is $16.75 in today's money. That was over 40 hours a week work to do that. But that was steam trains in those days, and they were just starting to bring diesel onto the suburban runs. But yeah, things have changed a lot these days with the electrification of the rail network around the Brisbane area. But Queensland Rail is so far backward. Why on earth didn't they have an electrified rail line to Toowoomba back in the 1920s or something, when they did the electrification to the Blue Mountains in New South Wales from Sydney? You know, there's no different. They had a lot bigger mountain to get up there, and there's just as many people in the Toowoomba area as what there would be on the Blue Mountains. So why that wasn't done years ago, I'm still scratching my head, can't come up with an answer. Should still be done nowadays. Anyway, that's another story. Thanks, Gary. Pass it back to you, and have a good night all. Cheers from us here. VK4BAD with the group, VK4 Tango Papa.
VK4 Tango Papa, VK4 Golf Romeo, Bravo Alpha Delta. Before I close off the net, is there anyone else want to join the club, join the net before I close off to say hello, goodbye? VK4BAD. Okay, nothing else heard. Yeah, I noticed that Don's missing tonight, and I noticed that I thought Eric, Mike Echo might have popped in tonight there as well. But anyway, with that lot there, Ian, no, I've been waylaid with other jobs at the moment. I haven't got to the, well, I've got to the house, Still doing bits and pieces, but it's not as quick as I'd like it to be. No, I've got other jobs I've got to get into. I've been on the chainsaw for the last few days, and then it rained for the last 2 days out here. So not much. Not much got done in the last couple of days. I've still got about a day's worth of work on the chainsaw, and then I could start looking at getting into other jobs. Hi. Okay, with that lot there, I'd like to thank VK4KRS Kirk, who's who's a listener on the side. VK4 Mike Victor L, VK4 IJP Ian, VK4HOO Andy, VK4 Echo Mike Merv, and VK4 Tango Papa Kerry. Nice to have you all in there tonight. With that lot there, I'll now change my call sign back to my home call of VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Fairyland. And I'll leave the frequency open for general traffic. VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo. Until next week, 7 free.
Mike.
Yeah, take care, guys.
Thanks, Gary. Great job, and great to catch up to everyone. And Andy there as well. I haven't heard you about Andy, but anyway, we'll catch up to you a little later on. I'll be here listening for a little while. Catch you later, guys.
Yep, thanks all, and good night. To get a bit of shut-eye. Cheers for now.
Okay, catch us all later on. VK4GRB. 7 free for the time being.
What you were explaining the other night, most of those cameras, if you look in the program on the camera, under Tools, I think, under Tools, you'll find that you can reverse the photo. What's it called? Mirror reverse or something like that. So, you know, you can flip it one way or flip it the other way. I wasn't really understanding what you were saying about you want to see where you, not where you're going, where you've been or something. VK4GRB, VK4 Echo Mike.
VK4 Echo Mike, VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo. No worries there, Merv. Yeah, yeah, no, it's got the setting in there to rotate it, you know, but it doesn't do a damn thing. All it does is, turns it upside down. I need it to actually flip over. The camera that's looking at me, if I put out my right hand, I want the camera to see me, show me that the camera is telling me that I'm putting out my right hand, but when it comes down along the stream, it's It's actually going the same way my right hand is. It should be going the opposite way, if you know what I mean. There, Merv. Back to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's called mirror image. What you're looking for, it only flips it from one way or the other. It doesn't flip it upside down or anything at all like that. Just a mirror image. And I don't know whether you can do that with a movie. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I know you can reverse. Just like, putting it in front of a mirror and that sort of stuff. All right, hope you get it worked out anyway. All right, let you go. Cheers, VK4 Echo Mike.
No worries there, Merv. You take care of yourself. We'll catch you later on. VK4 Echo Mike, VK4 GRB. 7-3. Take care of yourself. I hope you liked tonight's show. This is VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo Gary. Thank you for watching Dippy TV. Please subscribe if you like the contents. Leave a like if you'd like to, or a comment. Anyway, until next time. Bye for now.